and I learned a lot from your class. I know what is confidence, I know what is passion, I know a lot of things because of you.
I'm so glad to know you, and I'm so sad to say goodbye with you.
I love you very much. Thank you.
Well, students in China saying thank you to someone who made a huge difference in their lives through music education. I'm joined now by jazz vocalist Shannon Wallace, who spent the last month in China performing, educating, and most importantly, inspiring students across the globe. I've been hearing about some of your trip here, and it sounds like just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The World Academy for the Future of Women is the organization I represented in China. They received a U.S. State Department arts grant about 3 years ago. So they offered me this grant. It's the last grant of the third year to go over to China and to not only teach young university women and men about women leadership, but also to perform to all-aged audiences.
When you talk about women leadership, that's not something that's discussed very much in China.
No, it is not at all.
How did they accept it, or did they accept it?
They did. The program in China at this liberal arts college called CIOS University has been at this university for 10 years. It's also in a university in Nepal and in Bangladesh, and they're talking to people in Nigeria as well to bring it to universities there. So it's a concept that's new for typically for women who don't necessarily have all the leadership opportunities that we do here in this country.
You use some unconventional methods.
Yeah.
How did they take to that, and explain some of those methods?
So I'm a musician, and in my classroom I try to incorporate song as well to try to get points across, like nothing changes if nothing changes. So let's change this, because typically Chinese students sit in desks that are bolted to the ground. Both the chairs as well as the desks themselves are bolted, and they're expected to sit very erect and conduct themselves in a very proper manner. So I had them standing on top of their desks on one foot. I wanted them to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and to take some risks, because in life, the only thing that if nothing changes, if nothing changes. So if we can change your environment, then perhaps we can go a little further up the mountain and grab for the stars.
I would imagine in the beginning there were students looking at you like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And, what's going on?
Yeah, they did, but I tend to be a little bit more maybe eccentric or overt. I'm definitely an alpha personality. So not only with my teachings came, maybe some music and some loud voicing, but also a lot of love. So the way to say I love you in Chinese is 我爱你. And a lot of the students do this with their fingers. They do this, and this means I love you. See a little heart there with my fingers. So if I were to teach them, I also would tell them I love them, because that's not something they hear very often, either from their parents or their elders. And I would show them through my teachings through embracing as well. So then they were able to, I built trust with them, and they were able to stand on their desks more willingly than not.
Were there some breakthroughs in your teachings, and did you see light bulbs going off?
All the time. I had 191 students. Of those students, about 9 or 10 were boys, and all the rest were females. But I could see the light bulbs going off. I mean, yes, it's a different culture, but we're human. We're not different in kind, only in degree. So these light bulbs were constantly going off. You can see it in their eyes. I can see it in your eyes as we're sitting here and you're understanding what I'm saying. So it was beautiful to see that. But not only that, they have a way of expressing. Teacher, you have a way of making the invisible visible. So I was constantly being told verbally as well, and through little love notes and things like that they were understanding what I was trying to teach them.
What an amazing experience. We thank you very much for coming back, and without a doubt, I know your teachings will continue. So
thank you very much.
The best of luck to you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.